So today I will be reviewing the one, the only, the man, the myth, the legend, Shrek, the first one from 2001. So yeah, this film was a pretty big part of my childhood. It was pretty cool in the day. It was pretty edgy. Obviously, you see all these, traditional Disney films, where it's just so typical and so basic. Like, this these two really, this good looking bloke gets with this good looking girl, and there's conflict, and there's a typical villain who tries to take over the place, and that all they're bothered about is power and all this shit. But Shrek ain't a good looking person. He's an ugly person. I mean, sure, Fiona's quite good looking, but you get what I mean. Like, it's just a bit of a, screw you to fairy tale, typical fairy tale, generic rubbish at the end of the day. Like, at the start of the film, Shrek is reading from a book, and then, he uses it to wipe himself, and he says, "What a load of shit." So yeah, he really, really thinks, yeah, this is a load of rubbish. I don't believe in any of this crap, you know. And that was as I say, it was a big screw you to typical generic fairy tales. So yeah, the one big thing I like about it is the music that it uses. At the start it's All Star by Smash Mouth. Cool and hip. Usually in like Disney films, it's usually the characters singing about how they feel, but in this, it's pop songs which are done by, or rock songs which are done by proper bands and proper musicians, and it just feels real. You don't need them to sing and say about their emotions. You just see the characters walking around. Like when On My Way by the Proclaims is playing, Donkey and Shrek not saying anything to each other. There's just location establishing shots of them walking through different locations trying to get to the dragon's castle to save Fiona. That's what's happening, really. And All Star is Shrek messing around the swamp, farting in the lake, and bloody having a shower with mud. It's insanely cool. And yeah, but I mentioned villains earlier, and Farquaad isn't really driven by power because he has power at the start of the film. The main thing he's driven by is this idea of perfection. He thinks, oh, mirror, mirror. He doesn't. Everyone around him is telling him, yeah, shit, it's perfect, because they're all like yes men to him. But then he's like, oh, magic mirror, is this perfect? And the mirror's like, well, it's not perfect yet, you dickhead. And he's like, what? How's it not perfect? What are you talking about, you tit? And then the mirror's like, oh, well, you need a princess, don't you? And then he's like, oh, shit, yeah, I do. So he's like, shit, for this to be perfect, I need to get with a perfect princess. And then there's this weird reality show, dating show type thing where it comes up with all the princesses. And yeah, it's just, it's quite funny. And to be honest, Dulox's like a Disneyland type thing, isn't it? Oh, everything has to be perfect, everything has to be this way. If it's not, then you're out, you know. But yeah, I like how Shrek is DreamWorks, and Duloc is, and not Duloc, Farquaad is Disney, and he's like, oh, I don't give a damn about my bad reputation. He's not bothered, is he? He just acts the way he wants to act. Like in that song when he's beating up all the dudes in the wrestling ring. It's just quite cool, isn't it? Really. What don't I like about the film? It's a really difficult one, to be honest. What I don't like about it, there's nothing particularly standout or amazing. The jokes are quite funny. The characters are good. I don't know. It just felt like there wasn't really a lot there, to be honest, and you sort of knew what was going to happen. You knew that Shrek was going to go back and help. Like in the second one, it's a bit more unpredictable, but in this one, yeah, it's going to work out for him. It's all going to be fine. So I don't know, maybe nitpicking, slightly predictable, not really that many characters, and some of the jokes quite funny. It's quite funny, but some of it isn't. The story, yeah, it's just, yeah, it's quite good, isn't it? But nothing special. Overall, I'd have to give the film a solid 4. I mean, I went back and watched it recently, and I thought, oh, this film's still enjoyable. I thought I wouldn't like it as much as before. So yeah, solid 4 from me. Enjoyed it. What can I say? Hopefully you enjoyed this review. If you did, leave a like and subscribe. If you didn't, yeah, give me some constructive criticism. All right, thank you. See ya.